When most people think of flipping liquidation pallets, they typically think of reselling them back on sites like Facebook Marketplace or eBay. And that can certainly work, but it takes a lot of effort, a lot of legwork, and a lot of patience. But if you know how to flip liquidation pallets back on Amazon, you can avoid all that work, have Amazon do all the work for you, and make just as much money, if not more. The challenge with this, of course, is knowing where to source pallets specifically for Amazon and how to judge which pallets and which products will actually make you money and which ones will just waste your time. So in this video, I'm going to give you a complete blueprint on how you can find liquidation pallets on Amazon and make money without ever touching a product or shipping anything yourself. Now, in order to source liquidation pallets specifically for Amazon, you first need to identify which liquidation companies will give you a product catalog, because a lot of them won't. A product catalog is simply an organized spreadsheet of all the products a company has. In this case, it's specific pallets of products with product identifiers like a SKU or an ASIN or a UPC. This makes it really easy to compare the products in each pallet to the products that are currently selling on Amazon, so you can see which pallets are worth buying and which ones aren't. My favorite supplier for this is 888 Lots, but there are many others that you can use as well. Not only do they have fully itemized lists of all their products, but they also offer hundreds of pallets that you can scan through quickly on their easy-to-use website, which isn't typically the case for a lot of these liquidation companies, as you might notice. A lot of these websites that you might encounter in this business model look like they haven't been updated since 05. 888 Lots even has a section where they offer single units as well, where you can buy specific products. So if you do find a profitable one there, you can buy a bunch of them, just like wholesale or online arbitrage. On top of that, it's extremely easy to sort through the pallets that they offer with the website filters on their website. And this is not a promo for this company. They are just genuinely my favorite site to use, and I found dozens of profitable products from this site. Once you get the list of products in the pallet, you can then run it through a software called Scan Unlimited. Scan Unlimited allows you to automatically compare that list to millions of products that are currently selling on Amazon, so you know immediately if there are any profitable ones in the pallet. And you can try Scan Unlimited completely free through my link in the description. Not only will it compare products and tell you which ones are profitable, but it'll also tell you how much of each product is selling, so you know if it's worth buying or not. Because even if a product is wildly profitable, you might not want to buy it if it never sells. You need to make sure that both things are true, and this software will tell you in seconds. Now, if there isn't anything profitable in the pallet, then simply move on to the next pallet and scan that. If there is, then you can either buy it or you can make an offer. In my experience, it's best to start as low as possible with your offer, because if you're too low, the site will automatically reject it. And that means you can make as many offers as possible until you get to their lowest price that they're willing to sell at, which will obviously ensure that you're as profitable as possible and cut your cost of goods significantly. You don't need every product in the pallet to be profitable, and in fact, most products in every pallet will not be. But that's okay, because you only need a few products to be profitable to actually make money. And I've sourced pallets where only one product in the entire pallet was profitable and still made money. So be willing to be flexible when you're checking these out, and make sure you look into every single product. Once you do find a profitable pallet to buy, you can either order it to yourself first and then only list the profitable items on Amazon, or you can order it directly into Amazon FBA, like we'll talk about in a second. The benefit of ordering it to yourself first is that you cut your cost of having to destroy certain products in Amazon, which they charge you a small fee for. You also cut your shipping cost into Amazon FBA as well, and you're able to list the other items that aren't profitable on Amazon on other websites to increase your profit margins. The drawback of this, however, is that you do need to do the work by actually receiving the pallet, breaking it up, and then shipping the actual profitable products into Amazon FBA yourself. But keep in mind, in most cases on these websites specifically, you're not dealing with massive product pallets that you might think of. You're usually just dealing with like large boxes of products that are relatively easy to receive. You don't need anything like a forklift or a receiving bay in order to receive these. No matter which route you decide to go, you'll need to understand obviously how to ship your products into Amazon FBA. That way Amazon can handle all the logistics, all the customer service, and all the labor for you. And I did a video on how you can ship products into Amazon FBA a few years ago, so rather than turn this video into an hour-long tutorial, I'll just link that video at the bottom of the description if you want to learn. Then once your products are actually received into Amazon, you want to make sure that you're using a repricer of some kind to make sure that your prices are always competitive. effective. There are many repricers that do a great job out there, but honestly, the free one in Seller Central does a pretty solid job at what we specifically needed to do for this business model. So that's usually what I recommend beginners go with, because you can always pay to upgrade to something more expensive later as you scale, but you don't need it when you start. There's two main ways that I recommend using your repricer to get more sales and make as much money as possible. If there's a yellow buy now button, which is also known as the buy box, then you want to set your product up to match the buy box price. And if not, then you want to set it up to match the lowest price. It's also important to know what you source that product for on your liquidation website, so you can set a minimum price in your repricer as well. That way it never drops your price too low when you're losing money. So make sure you save your order information if you need to, so you can check that and input it into your repricer when you're setting it up. And once you set that up, then you're good to go. Now, it's also important to note that in order to sign up for many liquidation companies, you'll need a reseller's permit. And I also did a video on how anyone can get a reseller's permit super quickly, so if you need to know how to do that, it'll also be linked at the bottom of the description as well. And that's the complete blueprint on how anyone can flip liquidation pallets on Amazon for a profit. The tips in this video all stem from actual experience and are the exact methods that I've used to find profitable products in my own reselling business. I really hope it helps.